Here in Illinois, when followers of new religious faiths were also persecuted for their beliefs. That's what happened to the Mormons, and why the Church of Latter-day Saints is now based in Utah, not Illinois. In 1839, Joseph Smith and the followers of his Church of Latter-day Saints arrived here on a bend on the Mississippi River in western Illinois. Smith named their new settlement Nauvoo, based on an old Hebrew word that means beautiful place. Today, Nauvoo lies near where the states of Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri all meet. The Mormons had already been harassed in New York, Ohio, and Missouri. Here on the banks of the Mississippi River, Smith hoped they would finally be able to live and practice their faith in peace. The Mormons quickly established a new town here, with stores, a bank, and neighborhoods of distinctive brick houses. It was all planned to be centered around a grand Mormon temple that looked a lot like this modern one does today. The house Smith and his family lived in still stands here on the edge of town. Life in Nauvoo proved challenging from the start. In the first 7 years, 2,000 Mormons died, many from malaria, tuberculosis, and fever. Yet, thousands flocked here from as far away as the British Isles to join the church. At its peak, Nauvoo had a population of 11,000, making it one of the largest cities in Illinois, and one that rivaled Chicago at the time. But as the community grew, so too did tensions with other Illinois settlers, due to the Mormons' increasing power, exclusivity, and rumors that Joseph Smith and his followers practiced polygamy. The church itself confirms that Smith had at least 40 wives while he was in Nauvoo. Some were as young as 14. Some others were already married when they married Smith. Even though he tried to keep his multiple marriages a secret, outrage against the Mormons was growing. And then, things erupted. Smith, who was also Nauvoo's mayor, ordered the destruction of the printing presses of a local newspaper that was highly critical of the church and Smith's practice of polygamy. When that happened, there was public outcry, and many feared that the Mormons in Nauvoo would be attacked. Illinois Governor Thomas Ford finally stepped in and convinced Smith and his brother to face trial. "I am going like a lamb to the slaughter," Smith is reported to have said. The two were brought here, to the nearby town of Carthage, where they were put in this small jail. But when word got out that they were here, an anti-Mormon mob descended on the jail. On June 27, 1844, gunmen finally broke down the door and shot both Smith brothers to death. Their bodies were returned to Nauvoo and buried next to their house. Their graves are now a pilgrimage site for followers of the church. Within 2 years, led by their new leader, Brigham Young, the Mormons began their epic journeys west, often on foot, to the promised land of Utah. Generations later, the Mormons reacquired the lot where the old temple stood, and in 2002, they dedicated a brand new temple, reconstructed to look exactly like the one their ancestors had left behind. And now, every summer, members of the Mormon community stage a pageant near the temple to remember their fallen leaders and celebrate their return to Nauvoo. The Mormons who left Nauvoo didn't get a chance to witness Illinois' great boom as the 19th century came to a close. It was a boom that created the perfect conditions for the rise of one of America's most legendary gangsters, mob boss Al Capone.